Oh, we in? All right, all right. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. Come on in. Good morning to everybody, man. How's everybody doing? Warren Childs, what's up, man? Good morning, USCJ, J Walk. Come on
Good
in,
morning,
fight
good
on.
morning,
God
good
bless
morning.
you. Jesus is Lord. You absolutely right. Jesus
Amen.
is Lord, man. How's
Amen.
everybody doing,
Amen.
man? We just want to do it. J Walk, what's the word?
Woo! Hey, it is good to be back. Good to be black. Hey, guys, happy. Started a new season. Let's go. 2023 is on and popping, is on and cracking. Just like Big Bro USCJ always say, hey man, what sounds better than no USC Trojan football? It's time for USC Trojan football to start, baby. Let's go. It's
Absolutely, man.
really
And
time.
this is still Victory Sunday, man. I
It's
felt like
Victory
yesterday was
Sunday.
a victory. And we're gonna talk about why we think it was a victory. We're gonna kind of break that down. We're gonna talk about who shined, freshmen shine, transfer portal guys who shine, all the different guys who shine. Some freshmen stood out more than others, man, and they
Yeah.
absolutely got jiggy with it, man. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna say what's up to everybody. Law, what's up? Law abiding. You
What's
are
up,
a
law buddy?
law-abiding citizen. What's up, Guy? What's up, man? What's the word? Oscar, what's the word, man? What's going on, man?
Everybody in here.
Uh,
You're
Law,
all the
full
fam.
breakdown. We getting any more transfer portal? I think we get some more. I think the Georgia guy, Bear Alexander, is possibly coming. I
Oh
think we
yeah.
got a few guys coming.
Oh yeah, we're about to get a handful of people jump on board, but on the flip side of that, a handful of our guys are probably going to test their waters in the
Yeah.
portal as well. So that's just a byproduct of the nature of the game.
Absolutely. That's the nature of the game, man. So we're gonna talk about the game. Brandon, what's up, man? Okay, Jay, I see you. Got black going on today. Absolutely. Everybody, hey man, we got the this is Blackout Sunday, man. Straight up. This is Blackout Sunday. This is Blackout. I ain't gonna say Black Panther on you, but I'm saying this is Blackout Sunday, man.
Hey, that's how it is when you get after a boy like the boys did yesterday, man.
Yeah,
I'm
they got down and dirty with it, man.
really did.
Guy, what's up? How about our freshmen? We getting ready to talk about these freshmen. So Jay, let's talk about this, man. John, what's up, my man? What's going on? National champs. I'm all with you, man. We're going all the way.
Man, we have the ingredients to win the Natty. I'm I'm telling you, it's all going to be relevant to health, I believe, but we have the recipe. What I saw yesterday, I saw depth out of this world, man. I was at the game, so I'm sitting in the like kind of like the founder suites, just perfectly center 50-yard line, watching how the team was navigating, watching how the team was moving. And I just have to let you guys know how so impressed I am, number one, with how calm and controlled the guys looked out there on the field. Number two, the thing that stood out most was how not scrambled the freshmen looked.
Man,
The rooks, the
man.
youngsters looked like they were just perfectly in sync with the vets. And that is something different. That's what I did not see in last year's spring game. Last year's spring game, you could tell people were still scrambling, trying to figure out the depth, trying to figure out when they're supposed to get in and off the field with which units were transitioning. These dudes were locked and loaded, and I'm like, I could tell that the strength and conditioning staff has been.
Man, big up to Benny Wiley, man.
Benny Wiley is a
Big up to him.
dude. You can tell just from the culture standpoint of what I saw with how the guys were interacting with one another. It all started in that waiting room. It all started in that weight room with all the spring training and all of the conditioning. Is you could just see how ready these athletes were.
Absolutely. So we're gonna talk about this. We want to hear, they want to hear the good, the bad. I mean, I did a brief reaction video yesterday, and there was a lot of people that was kind of down. So some of the things that they seen. But let me say this: I watched Georgia spring game. I went back and watched a couple of spring games because I wanted to make sure everything was everything. And I did see Georgia first drive. They drove down, and this is not with Caleb Williams on the field. They drove down there at will and scored. I mean, same thing as USC, but this is the spring game. Everybody got acclimated, and I think, man, from what I seen, it was a great showing, man. So Oscar
Yeah,
wanted us. He said, "What are the pros and cons?" Let's be honest. So where do you want to start at with this? Let me end
cool.
this USC priority. I couldn't sit still. Marshawn Lord gave me Reggie Bush type of flashbacks.
I'm gonna
Hey,
talk about him.
the running backs are incredible,
I'm gonna talk about
absolutely incredible.
I'm gonna talk about Lloyd. Yeah, yeah. So here's the thing. It will never ever behoove a coach or a team, particularly a coach of Lincoln Riley's status and caliber. It will never behoove him to show you guys his weaponry. Like,
Right.
why are we going to broadcast and telegraph what we really are going to be doing to people this year? What you got to do was you got a small sample size. He gave you an appetizer. He let you, he whet the appetite. He let all those young running backs get a couple touches so they know what's up. He let you see that Caleb Williams' arm is a laser beam as accurate as possible. He let you see. He gave you like the little hors d'oeuvres, man. B. Rice got a little love. He let you get a glimpse of Mario in this, and Mario's a little bit bigger than last year, which I was happy to see. I think that'll help him be more durable. He was catching the ball pretty well in pregame. He looked fluid, getting in and out of his cuts from the stuff that I could see. But I know that there's a whole bunch of weaponry that the offense did not even. They didn't dabble with it at all. So all that stuff's encouraging, right? The offense is the best offense in the nation.
And that's hands down. That's hands down. And while we're on the offense, I'm gonna answer these questions as we go through because it's gonna be kind of hard to go back on them. Warren Child says, speaking of the offense, what you just said, he says, "Do you guys think Brown will be used as a running back this season?" I absolutely don't think he's gonna be used as a running back. I think the running back
he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need.
He lined up at slot and he had a nice little run. Matter of fact, it was Tackett Curtis that he put an incredible juke on. Yeah. But I think he's going to be primarily used as a slot. The running back room is so loaded right now, and we're going to talk about that because the running backs right now, 4 of them did pretty decent yesterday, and you had Marshawn Lloyd who put an absolute. I mean, I don't even speaking of USC priority, that was a juke that was out of this world.
He put the defense on spin cycle, which made me kind of grumble. Like I was not happy to see that. The open field spacing and the tackling and the pursuits, the angle of pursuits on our defense. We still need help there. We do. That did not make me feel good to see that much cutback space. And Marshawn's he's a beast now. That
was an incredible move though.
Yeah, he could be a 1,000-yard rusher very easily with the right amount of touches and give him a little spacing. And he's a wrecking ball with jukes, and so that's very exciting to see from the offensive standpoint. I did not like how the defense was pursuing on that play. But that was one of a few plays that I just made me feel bad about the defense. Otherwise, you also have to keep in mind that I think when it comes to maturity, the offense is always going to be a slight tick ahead of this defense because we still don't have all of our primary people in position defensively as well.
Right.
But yeah, man, I love that run, but it was a catch-22 for me. But I also was really upset because it gave me flashes of the last game we played. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to bring that team up. Right, but the last game we played of the season, it made me feel that way. It made me feel exactly that way. So with regards to that, I just know that our defense still has a little bit of work to do. I also know that for preservation's sake, we've been playing physical, but there hasn't been a whole lot of full contact slamming guys to the ground. So with that being said, and this being maybe one of 6 maybe live segments that they've had since the spring started, something along those lines, right? I think it's somewhere around 6 full contact, bring them to the ground, finish the play type practices. It wasn't bad because I know that they're going to continue to work through that from now through from the rest of spring all the way through fall camp. So Yeah, man. That's okay. That's okay.
Right, right. I'm gonna answer these questions as we go through. He says, "Hey Jay, is Bear Alexander coming to USC? Everything is pointing to that. Even on Georgia boards right now, it's saying that he's coming. That's what it appears to be, and that's what we're gonna kind of roll with right now.
Mhm.
Also, there's a Houston offensive tackle. I just seen today where it's between Missouri and USC. He said he's deciding behind. I can't remember his name, but he's out of Houston. Big old guy, man. Check the contract says thoughts on Dorian Singer's performance. Look, I thought, well, let me say this. I think Jacoby Covington, that was an interception when you actually look at it on TV.
It
I think
wasn't.
that was an interception on Dorian Singer.
Yep.
His other, I think he was still trying to get the feel of it. But here's what I do think, and I'm just going to be honest about this. I think Michael Jackson and Taj Washington, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why their touches weren't. Where were they at as well? Of course, we know Zach Branch shine. We know Kywan Ware, Hudson shine. He did his thing. Brendan Rice shine. Brendan, what's weird? Brendan Rice and Mario, we hadn't really heard anything out of them during the spring practice. I guess because they're veterans. The coaches weren't, they were just kind of making reference to some of the receivers. But man, Brendan Rice caught that ball, and he looked like he was explosive. Yeah, I mean, he looked faster.
Brendan, I think he finally realized. Well, when Brendan is confident, I can't say. I don't want to. First of all, when you get up on Brendan Rice, you realize how big he is.
He is big, man.
Like, look, guys, I'm 6'1.5", 230. I flirt between 230, 235, and I usually don't feel like small when I'm next to somebody, right? But Brendan he does not weigh nearly as much as me, but his height and his stature and his shoulder width, his arm, he actually has a really big frame. It's not as big as our great receiver that now is playing for UCLA, and I still got respect for him, by the way. But I believe Brendan he's championing that body type that we use, that like similarly how we use number 81 from last year, right? And that's I'm referencing Kyle Ford. So Brendan, I think Brendan is now our big body type receiver that can play tough and catch tough catches, and he's proven it. He's proven it to himself that he is that person, and it's exciting to see this level of confidence coming out of him. And just imagine how much weight is on his shoulders just through legacy, through family lineage, and through the expectations, right? So I believe that Brendan is going to do a lot more for us this year, and he looks really capable. He looks really confident, and he looks dangerous.
Absolutely. We're going to answer these questions as we go. Who do you take off the field for Eric Gentry? Eric Gentry, he's not in right now.
When he gets back.
Man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna play a type of hybrid defense. I think that defensively, we're going to continue to play like how we did last year, except more guys are interchangeable and more pieces are movable. Like situationally, you can put Gentry outside rush in, you can put him at Mike, you could put him at the will, you could put him at that hybrid, like in between, like cover type person. Mason Cobb looked very fast.
Man, he can guard, he can cover.
Very instinctive, very instinctive, and he's way more agile than I thought. I didn't know that he was as swift as he is.
Right.
So that's something I'm not 100% concerned with. You still got Shane Lee to come downhill and thump when you need to, and he's proven that he's a bruiser when he's healthy, and he looked a little bit more light on his feet as well, which was very.
He looked much improved from what I've seen. And the injuries attributed to that last year.
They really did, because before he got hurt and before our main linebackers got hurt last year, we were dang near leading. We were one of the top defenses overall in the country, in the top 20, that is, in the country, which is saying a lot when you have an offense as great as ours, right? But after that injury, we had some degradation. We had some fall off. However, I think that Shane is proving it to himself and the rest of the country that, the things that I'm being criticized on and I'm being graded on negatively, I can improve. and he did look faster because that was a really deep ball down the middle, and he was right there to break it up out of a zone drop. And I said, that's what I wanted to see. I want to see you get downfield with urgency and be disruptive on the play. And that's what it was. Like, not just downhill, but you need to be able to run in space as well. And he definitely showed that all throughout the game.
Absolutely. And to this other question, Eric Dunn says Zach Branch's special may end up leading the receivers. And hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. He is very in his ability to stop on a dime. Zach Branch yesterday had 8 receptions for 94 yards yesterday. And I mean, he shows it. And I tell you what, I can't argue that point right there at all.
He's freshman of the year. He's Pac-12 offensive freshman of the year, and he's a freshman All-American for sure this year. I'm calling it right now and put my name on it. Definitely.
Absolutely. So we just give you some of these numbers real quick. Zach Branch, 8 for 94. Raleek Brown, he had 4 receptions for 69 yards. Mario, 3 receptions for 19 yards. 1 touchdown. Dorian Sager, 2 for 31. Kyron Hudson, he had 2 receptions for 15. Brandon Rice, 1 for 45. Michael Jackson III, he had -1. He had 1 negative for 2 yards. And then Marshawn Lloyd. I remember that. And they pretty much read that the whole time. Marshawn Lloyd, 1 reception for 24. Taj Washington, 1 for 4 yards. So Zach Branch was the actual leading receiver yesterday, and he absolutely showed out, man. So in your opinion, freshmen that stood out to you yesterday, we've seen some freshmen do some things that was special, man. And I'm highly excited on both sides of the ball with the freshmen we have. Which freshman, man? Freshman?
Can I start with defense first?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So
I already know you're gonna take mine, but it's
you know I'm all right, maybe not. I'm gonna go in a non-traditional, not the stereotypical order, because there is one freshman that most certainly stood out on defense. However, there were multiple freshmen that stood out.
They were. I give it to them.
So I'm gonna start from the top of the defense and work down. So first, hey man, Christian Pierce looked good.
Hey man. Hey, is he not? Do you remember? Do you remember? It was an upgrade video I did with Christian Pierce. I don't understand how in the world he is a 3-star. Can anybody explain that one to me?
You know what? Sometimes they base it upon, like I said, when it comes to those stars and rankings, athletes can buy their positioning. You can pay scouting agencies to push your content. There's so many ways to do that. However, the thing is nobody really cares about those stars, man. Those stars are so subjective, and it's based upon who you're playing against, the competition you're playing against. Sometimes it's based upon what scouting camps you go to, how much you pay to play sometimes. Well, I will say this. I don't care about the stars. I care about the attributes in the athlete. And from what I saw from Christian Pierce, he was in position very much majority of the time he was on the field. He looked like he fit right in.
Man.
I mean, and his frame is big.
Man, he's so fluid with his movement.
He looked confident and smooth. And there's a safety that he reminds me of that you never thought was super explosive, but always in good position, man. Always in good position. And this might sound crazy because he's not built the same. They don't look anything alike. But when you just look at the pure game, where this safety does not look explosive, he does not look very fast. As a matter of fact, he wasn't super fast. I believe Christian Pierce is even faster than this guy. And the guy I'm referring to is a NFL veteran. On top of that, I believe he's even in the Hall of Fame right about now, or soon to be. But I'm talking about John Lynch.
Okay. Yeah,
for the Broncos.
He went to the Denver Broncos.
Safety, right? He just always was moving in the right direction. Yeah. I saw those types of attributes from Christian Pierce, where he was just always flowing with the field. He was always somewhere around the ball and making a play. For a freshman to have that much awareness, to always be within 1 or 2 yards of the play, can you imagine the remarkable upside when he's a sophomore, junior, and senior?
Absolutely.
Those instincts go higher and higher. And you know who else reminded me of him? Kalen Bullock when he was that age.
Man,
So
yeah,
he was
absolutely.
always just kind of around the play, just being disruptive, get a pick here and there, get in on the tackle, little fumble recovery, little scoop and scoop, always somewhere around the play. That's how you know you have a very good freshman, free safety, strong safety type player. Darnell Bing was the same way.
Yep.
Taylor Mays was the same way. Heck, believe it or not, I was very much the same way when I was at safety, just always on the cusp of making a really good play. He's got all those intangibles, forget all them stars. So I was very impressed by Christian. I love Taggart Curtis's motor. He looked like he was ready to murder everything.
Hey, I think, and even with him,
everything.
Even with him, just the fact that his mentality is ready to just absolutely destroy everything. I think he has to be careful with over pursuing, because it was a play we over pursued. But overall, I see somebody hit me comments about Tackett. I said, look, man, this guy's a freshman. I promise you, this guy is going to be beast mode with it. Matter of fact, let me answer Oscar's question. Oscar said, will Tackett Curtis start at linebacker this year? Bro, I don't know. We'll talk about Tackett Curtis real quick while we're on that. And Ray John, what all we seen from the linebackers? As far as what you've seen, we talked about Mason Cobb. Mason Cobb looked very. I think he solidified himself. Shane Lee didn't do anything to make himself get off the field yesterday. As far as being a starter, I think he improved himself. I think it might stay the same right now. But I think Tackett will situational plays, man. What's your thoughts?
Well,
he'll come in.
The thing is do you want your freshman linebacker on the field that early in those battle tested situations? Do you want him there that early when you have other guys that are just as capable, if not more, who also have the experience? Or do you want Taggart to have the security of like playing the situational style football, feature him on the plays that he's absolutely extraordinarily most confident and shows the acumen to always make those types of plays, right? Or do you want to throw him right in the mix and you just never know? Like even we held Ray Maluga, Brian Cushion, and Clay Matthews.
Yes.
We had those three dudes on our roster in those championship years. But we held them back and let them play situational so that they can kind of grow into the pace, grow into the spacing and the understanding of when to do what. Because right now, Taggart is still playing like he's in high school, which is fine. But he's got to know that level of urgency in this game could get you beat, and you can even take your own teammates out.
Yeah, right? You got to be a little more controlled with it, and recognize and diagnose. I mean, and by the way,
he's fearless.
He is fearless. And by the way, Tackett Curtis was one of the team leaders yesterday in tackles. Just so you guys don't know that. Defense had team. Let's see. Damani Jackson had 3 total tackles. Tackett Curtis had 3, and Marion Gordon had 3. They were the team leaders yesterday in tackles yesterday. So to your question, Oscar, I think he'll be worked in, but I don't necessarily think. I think they're going to leave it probably close to the same. What's your thoughts on what you've seen from Rajon yesterday?
I finally saw Rajon get to play the game that we know he can, and it looks like he has a really good grasp of the defense. He was in position all spring game.
Yeah.
So much so that it was like he couldn't really get challenged that much, in my opinion, because he was always in the right position.
Yeah.
Normally when you see linebackers get challenged a lot, is because they're out of position. But because Rajon was in position, there was no need. There was like very little room to attack him, in my opinion. So I'm very proud to see him. And man, this is a young man that has earned every scratch that he's getting.
Absolutely. Pierce might crack the starting lineup. That's going to be very interesting.
I don't know. We still got Zion Branch too. That's still kind of, I think, hampering an injury.
Yeah, he's hampered. He's hampered a little bit. And then you see the second team. Who did they have? I think they had Anthony Beavers
and Max Williams. Right?
Max Williams and Anthony Beavers. Were they the 2 back there?
I want to say
so. The first team you got Kalen Bullock and
Shaw.
That's right. So I don't know. I don't see how he got to at least be on the second team. In my opinion, I don't see how he can't the way he's playing. You think Christian Pierce stays the third team? I mean, It's tough, but
well, man, it's just like I said, it's just tough because justifiably you can't say that Christian, as good as he looked, um, the other guys look good as well. We'll see. Fall ball is different than spring ball. Like,
yeah,
for real, man, for real. I hate to admit it, but I've been a starter during the spring, and then by the time fall camp ended, I was like fighting to keep those reps, right?
Yeah.
So it's just when you get your whole team by the end of fall training camp. What I can say is, so far, Christian Pierce, I would not expect him to be redshirted this year. That's what I can say. That means he's available and is showing the ability to perform. But again, we still also haven't seen Zion, and I think that's still a freak that's ready to be unleashed too.
Absolutely.
He's amazing. Like he's the bigger version of his little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He has ability to read too. So read play as well. So let's get into the interior play, man. I've seen some pretty explosive guys yesterday, man. Let's talk about Eric Dunn. He says when Sam Green picks up some more technique, he'll be a beast. I've seen Sam Green do some very amazing things yesterday, man. Man, what's your thoughts on Sam Green? And by the way, Solo, he absolutely beast mode yesterday.
Solo looked good. And Sam looks as confident as anybody could look on the interior. Well, the thing is I don't know. I think it's because of, is it Lucas? What's Lucas' first name? Help me.
Anthony Lucas.
Anthony, I'm sorry.
And
Anthony,
somebody's actually asking about him as well.
My bad. So I think because Anthony Lucas can really hold down that edge like that, that it allows for our interior guys to really play free and strong and stout. They're not worried about the outside guys' responsibilities. And so I think it's all going to start with those edge players, those guys that are like forcing everything back inside. And we got some good monsters on the inside, and we look stronger than we've ever looked in the last 5 to 10 years, in my opinion.
And by the way, you had Sam Green in there coming off the rush, I believe. And then Jack Sullivan, it looked like they had Jack Sullivan playing the interior yesterday. And
Jack wears jersey 99.
99, correct. Yeah. And so I seen him.
Oh, am I thinking that was Sam? I think I'm mixing those two up.
Sam is 44.
40, okay, yeah, I had those mixed up.
Yeah, so Sam is 44.
44 is Sam. Oh, my apologies.
No, you good.
Jack is 99.
Jack is 99. Okay, and then 58. Yeah, 58 was Solo, who absolutely just came in and straight. And then it was one play I posted. I think it was on the video I did yesterday at the instant analysis of Solo. But my whole thing was how the whole defense pursued. I seen Keon Barnes in there. Solo was on the outside. And when the play happened, man, I mean, the whole defense, just watching them in pursuit of the offensive guys, man, to me, it just looked totally different. You didn't see that effort last year as a unit.
Yeah, they're flying to that. They're flying to the ball, and I think they believe more in second chance tackles now. Last year, it was one and done. It was disgusting. You see one guy make an effort on the tackle, and that was the only effort that he had on that tackle. Now you see the opportunity of guys believing that if they miss a tackle, they can backside pursue or continue to just force the action. So you're seeing guys make an attempt, and if they miss the tackle, they double back and fight hard to get back there. So I was seeing guys turning and burning. Like the D-line was really running to join the party in the second level when the ball broke past the second level. That's exciting because that's where you really get the most turnovers. That's when you really get wonderful plays. Like Coach Ed Orgeron used to say, good things happen when you run to the ball. Just period. Like really, the best plays of your career can happen when you run and are around the football. And our D-line this year are pursuing like crazy. Again,
they are, man.
Big shout out to Coach Benny. Benny Wiley got them.
He did his job, man.
Voters. Nobody looked tired. Nobody looked tired yesterday.
Looked great. And there's no drop off. There's no drop off with the in my opinion, with the second unit, especially when you talk about Tackett Curtis and Rajon Davis sitting right there with each other, man. That and Lincoln Riley said it. You know, the linebacker unit is the deepest unit. So James Booker, he said, just got done praying. Something told me to get on my phone. It's been a while, but I'm glad to see both of y'all talking about USC this morning. Can't wait to hear talk about USC this year. Hey man, hey James, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, my man. East Coast loves USC. Everybody hates the Pac-12 network. The Pac-12 network is lost in Alfredo sauce. Straight up.
Why do we got the Pac-12 network, man? It's just
it's crazy, man. They just make everybody surrender to their will if they want, man. It's crazy. So Walter, good morning, guys. You checked out Jeffrey Mama M from Auburn. He just hit the portal, I believe. I hadn't checked him out, but I think that's the guy that just hit the portal. So look, the freshmen. We were talking about the freshmen. So the freshmen that shine to you. Okay, let's continue with the defense real quick.
Christian Pierce, Taggart Curtis stood out above and beyond for me on the defense. Those are the two that my eyes kept catching flashes of, and it's great because they were second level defenders, linebackers and DBs. So I was very excited to see that.
Absolutely, same here, man. Christian Pierce, Taggart Curtis, and I would throw in Sam Green in that, and the freshmen. As far as the offensive side of the ball, man, let me ask you, did it shock you what we've seen on the offensive side of the ball from these freshmen yesterday? Because I mean, I was like, what?
Yeah, Amarion Peterson can go, man.
His run ability, that run going up the middle, that sidestep like that, and being able to just that vision like that and patience, man, he looked like he was like on some LaDainian Tomlinson type stuff, man, for a second.
You know, they went and found some true running backs. That's what I love to see, young running backs like that, because it just gets better. It just gets better with more size, with more strength, with more nutrition, with more weight room. It gets better as they get accustomed to this brand of football here on the West Coast. And I think with what I was seeing from how our offense was operating, and as minimalistic as those play calls were, they were extremely effective because they were mixing in the pass and the run so well.
Very well.
So well that the gaps were huge. And I don't think that it's just because our D-line and our linebackers weren't good. I believe it was just the nature of the play calling that was putting guys slightly out of position and creating those big run lanes. I really, really think that we'll have 2,000-yard rushers and about 2 or 3 others who are rushing for like 400 to 600. So I think we're going to have 4 style running backs who can get
name those running backs real quick. I already think you're probably on the same page, but I just want you to name.
So for sure, I think Austin is still going to get off because he's primed for it. Marshawn Lloyd is going to shock us, man. He's going to give us some flashes of like the greats. He's going to give us some flashes of the greats, right? My heart tells me that, you know, if they just give Barlow a couple touches a game, he's going to feast out there.
He's going to feast. He had one run that went up I think it was the right side that was like, okay, you got to get in that rhythm, man.
Well, you just got to get into a rhythm, and he's shown that he can start fast. I think it's just like sometimes the situations that he gets put in,
it don't seem right.
It's like it's hard to get a flow for him because he gets thrown in when it's like we need a big play. We need a big play. Go come off the bench cold and give us a 3rd and 6. We need you right now. So who knows if they can feed him early? I know that he'll wear on a defense because his body frame and his quickness, his elusiveness, he can go. You know, but between either of those 2 freshman running backs, it's gonna happen because they both you see them?
Man. Hey, I mean, which run do you want to talk about? I don't know.
That hurdle.
I mean, he did a 100-yard hurdle.
Dude.
I mean, I'm talking about the 100-yard hurdle.
I'm trying to tell you, I know.
Man, Are you serious?
The way he stuttered his feet and set it up too. Like he didn't just say, okay, let me just go head up. He said, no, I'm seeing the end zone.
And he's the biggest back on the team, if I'm not mistaken. He's like 220.
Dude. His name's Quentin Joyner, right?
No, Quentin Joyner was number 21. That's Marion Peterson.
So Marion Peterson did the jump, hurdle.
He did the jump.
And Quentin Joyner is our big bruiser.
No, Quentin Joyner is number 21. The one that Marion Peterson, I believe, is bigger than Quentin Joyner, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's 6'2".
Oh, really?
The one that jumped. Yeah, that's what
Wow.
I think he. And I can make sure I can double check that.
So that's why they were kind of, I think on the cast. Some people in the cast, when I was able to hear it upstairs in the booth area, and a handful of the OGs were like comparing him a little bit to Lindell.
That's what everybody's what everybody's saying, man. Lindell, that's lightning and thunder. I seen Gavin Morris post that up.
And he's wearing jersey number 21. So what I hope is Lindell is in his ear and talking with him and leaning on him, giving him a little mentorship about what it is to wear that number, and also being a back that they consider a bruiser who can also move in the open field. Because Lindell was a bruiser, but he had more jukes than anything.
He did have some juke. He had some good, and he had good vision for that big like that, man. He had great vision.
He had a great hesitation in first 3 steps. People don't realize that, and I could see that from this young man.
Yeah. So Quentin Joyner had six carries for 92 yards, 1 touchdown. That's number 21, and then Marion Peterson, number 27, had 4 carries for 41 yards, 1 touchdown.
Okay, so of the two, Quentin Joyner wears jersey number because I didn't know which was which when I was watching him on the field. I was just hollering, right? So Joyner wears number 21 or 20.
Joyner wears number 21.
Joyner wears number 21.
Marion Peterson wears number 27.
And Marion is a little bit smaller, or
Marion is the big one.
Number
27.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think he's the big one. He's the one that's like 6'2", 220 pounds or something like that.
Man,
if I'm not mistaken.
That's a big freshman running back, man.
Yeah, he is. I want to double check that.
I'm gonna get to, so I haven't been to the campus since spring ball. Like I haven't met any of these younger guys yet, not in person.
Yeah,
I've spoken to some of them on social media, but I haven't had an opportunity. It's been pretty much locked down from once summer hits, I'll be able to get to really know some of these guys. But yeah, it was exciting to see them. And plus, I'm the type of person, I don't love to shake the presents under the tree before Christmas. Like, I want to see what the new toy looks like the day it's supposed to be unwrapped. And that was what that was yesterday. Man. It was the day to see everything in its fullness, right? And I loved what I saw. I loved how very selective the coaches' play calls were, and I loved how minimal the effort had to be to get the maximum results. That was awesome.
That was all. It was awesome, man. And they, the proof was in the pudding. Those guys had production. Rex says, "How did Makai Lemon do?" I think he's hurt.
I think he's banged up. Yeah.
I think he's banged up right now, and I think he's Sports Conversation. He says, "Do you see any scenario where sometime in the future, because of his size and athleticism, Damani Jackson at safety?" He has some size, man. He's physical.
Maybe in the pros, but right now he's fast enough, physical enough, and skilled enough to run with as a corner.
And you got to remember, he ran a 10-2 and 100.
Yes,
that's cornerback elite speed.
He's top 5 fastest guys on the team.
Yeah, he has elite speed. 6'1", 200 pounds. That's the professional NFL type of prototype cornerback when you talk about cornerback.
That's right.
So man, so we talked about the running backs, man. We talked about the and overall, your perspective on the defense, man, is that we did what we had to do. But look, I want to say this too. There's not another offense in the country right now. You mentioned that this is probably going to be the best. There's no way this offense is not the best offense. They look more improved and better.
Number one
offense is facing the best offense in the country right now.
Every single day in practice.
Caleb is a magician. I mean, you see, he got this thing down to a science. You seen him come out there. It's like he can do it with his eyes closed right now. So I think it's important for us to understand that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Caleb guess what? He's actually more lean this year than he was last year. That's crazy because he's big, but now he's more lean. And I think that carrying around a little less body fat is going to help him be a lot more agile, and two, those little like micro tears and those soft tissue injuries are going to go down a bit. Like last year, he was a lot more banged up in situations that people really knew. And I'm so glad that it never even got out. It never even got out how much he was pushing through, right? So his body frame now, he looks faster, he looks stronger, and he looks just everything about him, he looks more tapered. And then when you pay attention to like the top, he's getting ready for the NFL. I'm just so he looks amazing. It is tough to win back-to-back Heismans, but that's a young man that most certainly should be in position to do it. We just got to keep him healthy and then help him to get out of bounds.
Absolutely.
Take those hits. He doesn't need to take hits. Now, with that being said, the offensive line. They look more athletic. I just know for a fact that they're not as disciplined as they will be by the end of spring. So I feel like that was the worst offensive line we're going to see this year. And that's not an insult. That's actually a compliment because they for the most part did pretty well. There weren't that many holding calls. There was a couple of false starts, but those false starts happen when you're playing with different types of quarterbacks and different cadences. So that stuff is all going to get worked out. But overall, man, our offense is dangerous, and
it's very dangerous.
And Zach Branch, the country's not ready for him right now.
No, he looks different.
They're not ready.
His ability to stop on the dime is like nothing we've seen.
We got two Zach Branches and almost a third. I'm gonna tell you.
Raleek.
We got Raleek is a whole Raleek. Raleek is a whole different Raleek. Raleek is a whole different freak, and don't think that he and Zach Branch, that's like they remind me of Dr. Seuss, thing 1 and thing 2, because they will get jiggy in the open field like
absolutely.
They're gonna break ankles this year. Those two are nasty. Then you got Michael Jackson, who has the same type of shiftiness, a little bit bigger frame, just as much speed with the ball in his hands as those two guys. But here's the thing, he's a dynamic returner. So when we put him in the backfield to return the ball on punts and kickoffs, man, it's about to be stupid.
It's about to be crazy. Not to mention Taj Washington too. He's
and Mario.
And I forgot. Hey. And Mario. Yeah,
Hey,
I mean, it's really kind of ridiculous, man. I don't think the world is really. This is going to be the second year of some of these guys in this same system, man. Defense and offense. You guys can expect this fall it's going to be on a whole nother level, and you get the sense of that. You can tell, you can feel it. And look, I think we can all expect some big things. Jay, what you think? Go ahead.
No, Gentry starting. Wait. Nah, Gentry not lost in the RB sauce.
Yeah, I mean he's hurt. He's hurt.
Gentry's in the lab, baby. He's in the lab, and we know what he is when he's healthy. We know what he is when he's out there. So that he's creating a new blueprint for that position. Right. Boy, y'all better watch out. And I'm telling you right now, he's pissed off that he's missed so much football.
Absolutely, and he's picked up a little weight.
And he's bigger because now he's not running around so much, so he can hold some weight. Y'all just watch and see. He's in the lab right now. God's just giving him an upgrade. That's all. He getting a new operating system. That's all that is.
Absolutely.
Now we're gonna have 3 dangerous tight ends. 3 options. We got Deuce coming in, our 5-star tight end coming in, right? We also have Jude Wolfe finally getting healthy. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I watched Jude Wolfe. He's an Orange County product. He's from this area. The boy he's remarkable. He can play tight end. He's every bit of what like that buddy that gave us the business from Utah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even want to say his name.
That's why I called him old buddy. Much respect to
Yeah.
him, but I can't speak his name right now. Not on this cast. No, sir. No way. He ain't getting no more love from us. But I'm very proud of how awesome he is. But
Yeah.
Jude Wolf is that type of a guy.
Yeah.
And also, we have this guy who they just transitioned to like an H-back named Carson
Tabaraki. Yeah.
Man.
I did a video. You seen the video I did on that guy?
They put him out there in on that offense, and y'all gonna see like where did this guy come from?
Hey, and it's another guy by the name of Cade Alridge who's coming in, he's a tight end. I think he's out of the state of Washington.
Washington. Washington, and he's super tall.
He's next level, man.
Yeah, man.
The guy, I mean, he's
6'6".
No, he's 6'4", I believe.
Man, he looks tall.
But Jacoby Lane is coming in. He's 6'5" out of the state of Arizona. He'll be coming in. He's a big time receiver. But Deuce Robinson, I don't even think they're gonna use him primarily as a tight end. I think they're gonna use him as an outside receiver.
And they very well may. But I'm saying, but the thing is, I think they will line him up as a tight end and flex him out at wideout because we want
right.
We want to catch him in man coverage and then flex him out.
It's gonna just be all bad for whoever's defending that. It's gonna be bad, man, all the way bad.
And like, we haven't had no tall, rangy, like skyscraper type receivers in a while, man. Like the teams that gave us struggles was those Bobos from UCLA, those really tall dudes that can catch those jump balls. We need those dudes because we got the short and in between guys and the little jitterbugs. Now let's go get some dudes who can just really stretch the field vertically and we can play basketball with these guys, right? We need those volleyball athletes to have mix-ups against smaller defenders.
Absolutely. And I think the last one we had was Devin Williams, but he ended up transferring to Oregon. That was that tall like that. Of course, Dwayne Jarrett and some
Dwayne Jarrett, Mike Williams, Patrick Turner. I'm trying to think of the guys who really, it started as early as Keyshawn with that.
Yeah.
We that's always been a recipe at USC is to have the tiers, the height tiers of receivers, the like 5'9" to 6 feet guys, the 6'1" to 6'3" guys, and then those 6'4" to 6'5", 6'6" dudes. That's the balance. Because we had Drake London.
Oh, man, I don't know what else.
Drake London. We need that as a recipe. In ingredients. We need that ingredient in our recipe. That is, So
absolutely. Shout out to my man Kashim. He sent me some stuff yesterday, man. All kinds of videos and stuff, man. Shout out to him. I know he enjoyed that game yesterday. We got 100 in here, man. Everybody hit that like button, hit that share button, man. Hit that like and share button. Sam Green, Joshua says Sam Green looked good.
I'm so sad I was mixing up 99 for 44 the whole game. I thought, but that's Jack Sullivan.
Yeah. Jack Sullivan, he's the Purdue transfer.
That's right.
I seen him pushing some guys back. Man, that guy can play defensive tackle, man. I know they brought him in for defensive end. He looks like a D tackle.
Yeah, I'm so upset at myself. I mixed those two jersey numbers up, but now I know who I was looking at. Yeah, man. So I'm excited about these young linemen, defensive linemen.
Yeah,
sure. And the older guys just look like veterans. Like they just look. Everybody looks like they know how to play football at this level. And they just blend right into USC. They just blend right into what we have going on. This experiment, I think this year is a little bit more intriguing than last season. Because last season we had no idea. We were just hopeful and speculative.
Yeah.
Now we know what we can do. And we have 2 times the talent this season and 2 times the depth.
Yeah.
So where we got last year is, I'm going to fully say we very much overachieved.
Absolutely. And hampered by injuries. And I want you guys to remember this time last year after the spring game and during the spring camp, I remember Lincoln Riley specifically make a reference and say, look, he says, we got a chance to be special. The offensive line is good. These players are good. And he was correct. We won 11-3. Now, year 2, he made reference to it this year and said, look, he said, I think we're going to be better than next year. He said the depth is much better. He says you don't see much of a drop-off. And I'm telling you, the same way he made reference to that last year is the same way now that we're going to see this thing manifest in the fall. we're gonna see a much better team on a whole nother level. Look, USC, as you know it from last year, is no more. You might as well forget about that.
It's done.
It's not going to be. It's gone. It's over. You're getting ready to see a new team, year 2 in the system, and then guys that don't forget. We got David Peavy coming in, freshman. We got Braylon Shelby coming in, who's an absolute monster, 6'5", 240 pounds, and then we got Elijah Hughes coming in. We still got some other guys that are coming in that's going to add to this depth. And so I think that USC, man, is going to move to a whole nother level. Any thoughts on that, John?
Well, you nailed it. You nailed it with the guys coming in, you know, after they're done with high school. But I think more than anything, the thing that stands out to me the most is, you know, as sitting with all the alumni. And when I say the alumni were there yesterday,
oh yeah,
we were there. Even Mike Williams, the great Mike Williams, flew from Florida, where he lives, down here to be a part of this and to bring that energy back. Like, we were deep, and all of us just had this really like this smile of like, we know what's coming. We know
you can feel it, huh?
Yeah, you know, last year we were hopeful. We could feel it because it was just exciting. It was new. That was the first time in collegiate football history that a motley crew of athletes and transfer portal and, you know, incoming freshmen and new coaches. It was a whirlwind of they just jigsaw puzzled that whole team together. And we had the success that we had. That was with only about 4 or 5 months of actual preparation with the whole team. Right? With the whole team. They only had about 4 or 5 months of preparation before the season started. Take this whole now year and a half of preparation with the blueprint and the model of how to glue those pieces together, how to quickly get these guys acclimatized and acculturized and acclimated. Did I say that right? Acclimated?
Yeah, acclimated.
Acclimated. Sorry, acclimated to Los Angeles and everything that it brings. And now you have strong leadership figures on the team, whereas before you're trying to figure out who those leaders were. Now you have those pivotal points in play. You have athletes who realize, I got to buy into this strength and conditioning staff. I got to buy into this system. If I'm coming from this out-of-state place, I have to really understand what this is about. And so having all that framework and that foundation, you can tell how calm and how composed the athletes are just watching them from the sideline. And that there was very little uncertainty where dudes just look confused. You can always tell when guys are a little bit confused on what they're supposed to do. Like these guys for the install that they've had up until this point, they really know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
That's the base that we need. We have strong leadership, and guys that played in other places are coming in here and bringing that leadership, bringing those experiences from those other universities and the things that make a position group work. They're adding that now. Whereas before we didn't have that. We had to kind of build it within ourselves. And now we could just continue to add value. Like I had a brief conversation, and this was the first time that I actually got to talk to him just in private, was the athletic director, Mike Bone. And I just looked at him and I said, you know what? You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you.
He is, man.
You're doing a great job because you're allowing Lincoln to actually coach from his heart and use his instincts. You're not micromanaging this thing to the point where it feels like everything's being forced. And I said, and I'm going to tell you something. I think now it's actually quite insulting to say that this is you're doing it like Pete Carroll and those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I keep hearing that quite a bit, man. And let's look. That was a great. That's like saying Bear Bryant. Nick Saban is doing it like Bear Bryant.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, I looked at athletic director Bone, and I said, "You're doing it like Mike Bone." Yeah. And Mike said, "It's because of you guys. It's because you guys coming back and bringing the energy." And he said, "Really?" I said, "This should be nothing like Pete Carroll's and Mike Garrett's tenure. It should be nothing like it, and it isn't, because they didn't have NIL. They didn't have the
it's totally different.
They didn't have to deal with the stress that you guys have to deal with of knowing that guys could leave at any moment. Guys are trying to get the bag. You guys aren't paying everybody to bag. You're
Jay, let's
leaving.
stay right there for a second.
Yes.
You're hitting on a great point.
Yes.
Because there was another, we got to stay right here just for a second. We got 116 in here.
Okay. What
Oregon
up?
Oregon, I think Dakota Fields, while we on this real quick, Dakota Fields out of Sarah High School, big time cornerback. Of course, you know Roger Pleasant.
Yeah,
let's really, because a lot of people are saying Oregon is blowing us. Listen, Jay, you just hit the point. You hit on the point. There is a new reality, and I brought this up last summer. We got to understand, NIL is real. USC will not, and I don't think off of the top, you got a bunch of guys that are unproven coming out of high school, and it's not, I think they should be paid. I do. But then just to give them a huge bag, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Because, and talk about the new reality as well. When you talk about NIL, we're losing, or they're not a better recruiter than Lincoln Riley. They don't even have the track record as Lincoln Riley.
Not even close. You got to understand that a lot of these athletes are making their decisions based on compensation, not consideration of the long-term benefits of playing for certain universities, certain institutions. And I'm gonna tell you right now, for all the people that are saying USC is buying their players, there is not 1 ounce of evidence. Not only evidence, but just the fact is, it's just flat out inaccurate, because the infrastructure for that is not in place here at USC.
Right.
Infrastructure to be paying kids all this money to play football at USC, that's a myth. It's a misconception. It truly is. The reason some of these Oregons and other schools and Floridas are getting top tier recruits is, one, they have their own pedigree, they have their own traditions that certain athletes like to lean on, but they're also paying a lot of money for kids that are even talent, kids that are not, they haven't played 1 ounce of college football. So USC is the type of university that's going to lead with heritage, lineage, tradition, the alumni association, the strength of education, and what a degree from USC carries outside of outside of athletics in the future. And also the prime location and access to everything in the media world and everything Hollywood, everything that's beautiful, right? So I know that when we get a recruit, that those recruits love USC and love this coaching staff and love the fact that they're in proximity to all of the resources here that are abundant in Los Angeles. That's what they're loving. They're loving the teammates. They're loving the promise of fighting for national championships year after year after year. The promises of what it looks like to play for Cardinal and Gold and be able to extend your career beyond that, because USC's third stringers are like 5-6 year NFL veterans. I don't know many places that offer that. You can play a backup role at USC and be a starter in the NFL, and that happens time and time again. So that's what we have in this generation. So I don't care if those kids go to these other schools. Like if you can buy them for them to go to other universities, they're never going to fully be happy at USC, where they have to fight for it and be competitive. They're never going to be the type of player you want them to be, because it wasn't a heart decision. It was a head and financial decision, which a lot of athletes need at that age. So I never judge them. I never judge them for choosing to go to a place that they say gives them a bag, because you don't know what type of circumstances they're walking out of when they leave high school. You don't know if they're like going to be the primary breadwinner in their family at the age of 18, and they got to get this NIL money now to pay and help their support their family while they're trying to focus on college.
Absolutely. Everybody's situation is different.
Nobody knows. So for all the people who are getting the bag, and a lot of these kids, they go to these schools to get the bag, because you can't say lineage wise that this is ever, even in comparison to this, ever. And it's impossible to make those comparisons. You just can't make those comparisons track record wise. They have one Heisman Trophy winner. They have no national championships. I think they may have a handful of Pac-10 or Pac-12 championships, but at the same time, it's nothing to you can't compare. You get some cool gear and some nice clothes, but you don't get any big accolades that carry you beyond, right? So why I love Mike Bone and why I love Lincoln Riley is because they're saying, look, man, we're not about to pay you all this money to come here. You're going to come here because of these intangibles, and that's the character of young men we're trying to recruit here. If that's what you're about, then please come and be a part of it. And the thing is when you get here, we will help you structure financial strategies to make certain that you can capitalize on your performance, your name, image, likeness, and continue to carry your family's legacy. But that's after you've been here, tried and true, and tested your mettle and been forged in the fire. We ain't paying you before that.
Absolutely. And that's the structure, man. That's the structure. Brian, what's up, my man? All the way from Alabama. And that's the structure that they got. And it's still, even with the new one that just came out, that's the way it is, man. So look, man, we've been on here for almost we've been on here an hour. Any question? You guys hit with them questions real quick. Brian, the offense is the offense. This is going to be the best offense in the country this year. The best offense in the country, who our defense happens to go up against every single day. Come on with them questions. Pleasure chatting with y'all. Can't wait for the fall. It's going to be great. Hey, Warren, we appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you. Jay, before we close it out, man, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I did want to shout out Malachi Nelson. I know that, hey, he's coming off shoulder surgery, guys. Just keep that in mind. So you could tell that he was shortchanging a lot of his throws, and they still were pretty accurate. Now, I got to watch him play for 2 years here in Orange County. He went to Los Alamitos. He is the truth. But I love how Miller Moss looked.
Hey, Miller Moss, I said he's next up. And I really believe that, man. And think about this year. Miller Moss, man, I'm telling you, think about this year. We play LSU next year, beginning of the season. Caleb's out of here. Caleb is not. Somebody asked me a question. They said, does Caleb have a chance to come back? Man, Caleb, we don't have a puncher's chance for Caleb to come back.
Why would he? Unless barring some type of crazy injury, which even still he wouldn't need to probably come back. He could
his stock is so high right now, it's gonna be crazy. But I would like to see Miller Moss open up with LSU. I think he has the experience, he knows this offense, and I think we could, and then we play, of course, the Big Ten schedule. Who else better than Miller Moss right now to open up next year with LSU, Ohio State, Michigan, all these guys, other than somebody like Miller Moss? I think Malachi is going to develop. We get Dylan Raiola. That'll be good as well. So, Miller Moss, Malachi is going to learn behind these guys, man.
He is, and that's what you need. And that's what you need in this generation. You don't need to get your youngsters and throw them out there to the wolves, man, because we persecute them. We crush these guys when they get their chance and they're not developed yet, and mentally, emotionally, physically, they're not reading the game speed. They still have their high school habits. You guys got to understand, man. Like everybody says the NFL is faster than college football. I really disagree. I disagree.
We talked about that before.
Played in it. And the reason I'm going to say that is the thing about the NFL that makes it faster is that athletes in the NFL just don't make as many mistakes. So they move to their position faster. So it seems like the game is faster. They are a little more powerful and explosive. But in truth, the biggest jump is actually from being an 18-year-old high school player or 19-year-old high school player. Now you're playing with 21, 22, and 23-year-old college players. That is a huge gap. Trust me, because them boys been in the weight room and eating and lifting way more than you since you were in high school. So that gap from freshman year in college to like going against juniors and seniors in college is a huge jump. It's kind of when you in the NFL, like you're already 22, 23, and you're playing with other 24 and 25-year-olds, you're pretty much in your zone. I don't like my young quarterbacks having to play too early. I just don't. Their confidence gets shaken. The crowd is on their back too much. Let's let Malachi develop. Miller Moss has proven that he can do it. He can run the offense, and he looks good doing it.
Absolutely. And this is even more so why I think USC fans should be confident, because when I looked at spring games yesterday, you've seen a bunch of, whether it's Georgia, whether it's Tennessee, they all working. Well, Tennessee did have a backup quarterback that has experience, but a lot of teams are working in new quarterbacks. Georgia's working in new quarterback. And I'm telling you right now, we have the advantage when you have a Heisman Trophy winner. The quarterback makes the world go round. He is the commander-in-chief. And I'm telling you right now, Caleb Williams is an advantage big time. And to Oscar's point right here, listen, I have officially thrown the keys away, Jay. I'm not going back to get them. Whoever, didn't jump on is lost in Alfredo sauce. They are lost to the sauce. I threw the keys away. What you think, man? I mean, should we open it back up? No.
They're gonna have bro. They're gonna have to order Lyft or Uber. They can't get on this bus. It's gone.
Uber, huh? Not even get a taxi, huh?
To get that Uber, bro.
They getting the old yellow taxi with the box truck.
We already well on our way to the national championship destination, baby. We gone.
We gone, man. That's it. We gave everybody opportunity to get on, man. It's over, man.
Hey, Singer looks good, but he's nursing an ankle, so he's about 70%.
Yeah, so. And he had 2 receptions for 31 yards, man. Yeah. 2 receptions for 31 yards. So
everybody, he looks bigger than I thought, by the way. But I think he's gonna surprise us because he looks real fluid.
Yeah, he looks
really fluid. So we have a very good team. We have a very, very good team, and I'm excited. I was also happy to see how Jalen played as well.
Yeah.
Jalen McKenzie, right? Number 19.
Jalen, not Jalen McKenzie. Jalen, Smith.
Jalen Smith. That's my bad. JK. Yeah. Jalen Smith. Hey,
yeah, he looked good. He looked pretty good.
He was definitely scrappy, and he was all over the field. That's what I like to see out of my like nickel type players. You know, he's gonna be very disruptive, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had about 5 or 6 picks, man.
Yeah.
He's always in the middle of the field. Those tip passes, man. He's quick and he's physical, and I like the.
I forgot. Jamil Muhammad. He was one more player. One more player. And look, hey, you guys, all those who are on here, I might be coming back with Jamil Muhammad tonight. He texted me last night.
Nice.
Yeah, so I might have Jamil Muhammad tonight. So you guys hit me back. I'll put that information up. I might just come on live tonight. It may be around 4 o'clock with Jamil Muhammad, USC, and he had a good game as well. He did pretty good. So you guys come back with me later on tonight. We'll talk, or this evening. It might be Jamil Muhammad. Roger Dodger. Singer had a couple of catches, missed on a spectacular. Yeah, he did all right though, man. He definitely did all right. But anyway, Jay, so we've been on here 1 hour and 6 minutes, man. We're gonna get up out of here.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we close?
Last shout out, and I'm gonna give you my offense and defensive MVP. Can I do that?
Oh yeah.
All right. Here's my. I'm gonna just start my offense.
Oh, hold on for one, Jay. 1 second. Yeah. This was the guy I just mentioned from Houston. Breaking news said, "Oh yeah, that's the guy." You guys remember early on in this broadcast, I talked about him. I couldn't remember his name. He's down in Missouri and USC. I think he's going to commit. He's going to go ahead and commit. That's the big offensive lineman.
We need those big dudes. We just come on in, man, and plug in. Let's go. Let's win this ring, man. Let's get some jewelry. Stop playing, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all youngsters, y'all recruits from everywhere else. This is it. USC is the mecca of college football once again. A record doesn't indicate that. Energy and momentum indicates that. And see, we're trending up. We haven't missed a beat. And I don't think we fumbled at all. We're just consistently climbing and putting the right players in the right position. So that's it, man. Let's get this thing. Let's get this thing going. Yeah. But I did want to shout out the two athletes that I think stood out the most on both sides of the ball. Is that all right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Number one, offensively, you can't deny what Zachariah Branch did this spring game. You can't. He's remarkable. He's everything. He's got it. It's all gas, no brakes. It's click, click, boom with that guy. It's happening. So he's my offensive MVP. My defensive MVP is Jacoby Covington.
Oh my goodness. I forgot to mention Jacoby, man.
He was locked down all day. He looks confident. He's strong. He's rangy. He's using his arms well. He's using his length well. He's always on the ball. By my standards, he had 2 interceptions yesterday in the spring game. And to be honest, he looks very ready. He looks like he just built out the momentum that he got in the last 4 games of the season, right? They finally plugged him in, and he started to finish very strong. And I would not be surprised that he ends up being our premier corner.
That's what I wanted to ask you, man. I know these conversations keep extending this conversation, but you had Christian Roland Wallace from Arizona.
Yeah, he's great.
And so, man, what are we going? I mean,
I think Damani. you know, and I hate to do this like this, but for my standard, the visual test is, you know, in no particular order. But if I had to put 3 corners out there to date, right now, I'm going Damani because he's too fast and he's physical. I'm putting Jacoby because he's rangy and he's actually covering
You
very
put him
well.
at corner.
Corner because
Yeah.
he reminds me of Antonio Cromartie. That's who he reminds me of, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm putting Christian Roland Wallace because he's really well rounded. He has similar cover skills to you know, Makai from last season, except
that's who he reminds me of. He's physical.
He's bigger and he's a little more physical. So those are the 3. And then you can't go wrong with Sierra. Sierra's always in position. We just hopefully got to get him to make more plays on the ball and stop grabbing when he can trust.
So Jay, you called out 4 guys. You got to name 2 starters right now. Who are the 2 starters?
Today, based on what I can see right now, I'm going Damani and Jacoby. But we play 4.
Yeah, I mean
3 corners. But our defense play 3 corners, so we can put a 3rd one out there, right?
Man, I mean, I can't deny what Jacoby did, man. Matter of fact, I put him on my Instagram last night. He had those 2 picks, and he looks extremely physical. But look, he's out of the state of Arizona. Yeah. He went to Washington, but he was a 4-star guy. This guy was projected to be a big-time corner. And look, it appears that it's absolutely showing up right now. Yeah, it's showing up.
Get love on the kid. Coach him up. Give him a chance to succeed. Don't punish him if he makes a mistake. If he's struggling with the defense, spend the extra time to help him understand how this defensive system works. Get him used to California. Get these guys acclimated. Help them in the classroom. There's so many factors that people don't understand what forces an athlete not to be their full self. USC is the University of Southern California. It's a private education. There's about 23 to 30 students in classroom. It's so much pressure academically. It's so much pressure socially. It's so much pressure physically, athletically. There's a lot of things these young men have to work through. And what I'm trying to say is once you get an athlete to finally be able to breathe in his element, to be on top of his schoolwork, to understand the defense, to make new friends, to get over the hurt of leaving a team that you once loved and all your friends and coming to something new, fighting, competing, learning how to prove yourself to the coaching staff, including yourself, man, when you finally get that, you finally step into yourself. You get into your swagger, your zone. And I'm going to tell you right now, what I saw from Jacoby Covington, he looks like he's in his zone.
Man, he's in a different place.
And he's a sleeper, and he's a guy that wasn't blessed with the opportunity. He fought and scratched for it, and he snatched it. And that's what I want to see from my second.
And look, to your point, here's what we don't want. We don't want it to be a superstar like Damani or a superstar like Jacoby Covington, and then it's a huge drop-off. No, right. You want those guys to be right there, ready to come in, even the 3rd guys. And so that's what we're seeing now. We did not see this. We haven't seen this like this on this level in a long time. You talking about, and then Sierra Wright. I mean, all these guys are like Lincoln Riley. What he said was an accurate statement. There's no big drop-off. There's no big drop-off right now.
Most of our guys in the secondary, 1st and 2nd depth, played at least 75 to 80, close to 90% of the snaps last year. So you have to be comfortable if Jacoby and Damani were starters. You have to be comfortable with Sierra being a backup because Sierra was actually a starter for majority of the season. If Sierra's a starter, you have to be comfortable because he was the starter for most of the season, right? Jalen Smith, he started a lot of games in the middle last year in dime or nickel, those nickel packs. You have to be comfortable with him there. You like the thing is you don't go, man, who is that? Whose number that? What number is that guy? I don't even know who that guy is. No, guys are familiar and you know their games and you know how they can plug and play and you know how they're going to fit in. So I'm just very comfortable with seeing how our defense looks in the back half. Whereas I think at the end of the season, our secondary became more questionable. Our linebacking core, we were like, man, if we get one more injury, bro, it's over with. Now it's like, okay, well, now next man up mentality. Everybody says next man up, but is the next man up somebody that you can put your confidence in? And now I believe we can. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So your freshmen are, well, your players, your MVP, you said are
Kobe Covington on defense. And I'm going, and that was tough between him and Taggart, but Jacoby just because he's covering some of the best receivers in the country. That's why
absolutely.
He's literally going against the best DBs in the country, Zach Branch, Mario, basically all of our wideouts. He's going to those guys, right? So him on defense, and then on offense is Zachariah Branch, who's a phenom.
And those are good ones. Here's mine, and only because we've been hearing about Zachariah Branch. That's the only reason why I'm not going to go with him. But he's absolutely, I read it, eight receptions, 94 yards. But I'm going with the surprise to me. The surprise to me was Quentin Joyner, and I got this guy's name, Corey. Corey pulled up. Corey. I remember
Quentin Joyner wears number 21, right?
21, yeah. I remember he first sent me a video last year sometime about Quentin Joyner, and I was like, okay. But man, he really just surprised me, man. I mean, for him to do it the way he did it, he's so smooth. You know how certain running backs you say that just have that it factor, like certain guys have that it factor. He has that sidestep it factor, like it's LaDainian Thomas, and to me, he has a running style about him that's going to translate well to this college football. So I think Quentin Joyner for me. Then my defensive guy, yes, Tackett Curtis. He had 3 tackles, helped lead the team, but the way Christian Pierce came over and did that interception, it was just a presence about him, the way he looked that I can't explain. It was just, he's going to be my guy because I see something in him that is different. That's the only way I can put it.
I do. And he's good. He's good size. He doesn't look like a freshman. If he said he was a junior, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
He's out there looking like a junior, So man, we look good, guys. We look good.
Absolutely. So we're gonna let everybody go, man. Happy Sunday, man. God bless everybody, man. Until later on, man, we about to have some transfer portal news coming up, man. But look, I am about to get ready and get a line set up to where you could call in, and hopefully Jaywalk ain't lost in Alfredo sauce. When we do this. We take these live calls, man. I'm about to get it set up.
Y'all see my little board right here. This is all my little real estate stuff right here, man.
He be getting it, man. He doing his thing.
Hey, this stuff be having me crazy, man. So, but I'm gonna be tapped in. You know it.
We know he's gonna be here during the football season, but hey, it's go time with him right now. I like that LA hat, by the way.
Yes.
But anyway, man, look, until later on, man, look, everybody stay blessed, man, and we'll get back with everybody, man. Fight on, fight on, fight on.
Love you guys. Fight on.